My Oupa was a cattle, corn and peanut farmer in the northwest province of South Africa in a tiny little village called Stella. And it was quite community based over there. So on the odd occasion, you'd have his farmer friends come around and they would give him some game, some venison. And on those occasions, he would have to give something back. So he'd give them some beef because he was a cattle farmer. So when he got that venison, he would take that beautiful boat or a shoulder of the venison and he'd make an amazing potjie. So today we are going to make the most incredible potjie, but with my Oupa's secret ingredient, Nagmaal Wyn. Yeah, beautiful Nagmaal Wyn. We're going to add that to the dish, make a delicious potjie with some lovely root vegetables, and we're going to make delicious, silky, smoothie, creamy mashed potato. Plain, simple, nothing fancy, the way it was done in those old days. So come join me and let's get stuck in. One of the lovely game meats that they got over in that area was kudu. Look at that lovely kudu shoulder. And I mean, you don't get this often, you know, like we don't go hunt, you know, in the new age here in South Africa. I'm sure the farmers still do, but we don't hunt. So it's actually very nice to get a whole kudu shoulder. So what we're going to do is take this, goodness gracious, take this skin off at the moment. You can see there's some skin there. So we don't want all of that skin, so we're just going to get in there, take some of that off, because that's going to be tough, right? That's going to make your potjie quite tough when you are munching it. So let's just take some of that skin off. So I think that's about it. Right, just taking most of the skin off. You can see it looking really fantastic. Okay, and now we're going to salt them up. So we are going to get the coals ready. We're going to get that grid on, spice it up nicely, and we're going to put it on the grid and we're going to braai it just to sear it, seal it off so that the juicy flavors stay inside. I know you're going to put it in the potjie and you're going to cook it long and slow, but the sealing gives it a beautiful color and a really rich, deep taste. So we need to get some seasoning on there. So let's just give it some olive oil so that the seasoning can stick on very nicely. And also when you're putting it on the braai, right, it won't stick to the grid or anything, and that's going to give it a lovely char mark. All right, now just some salt and some lovely pepper, just some black pepper. Season both sides. So we're going to get that on the grid. I just want to get my grid on. So you want to get that grid hot, right? When you put that venison on, it's going to sear and it's going to make those nice marks and it's going to really give it a charry flavor. It's no use not heating your grid up and then you put it on and just like nothing's happening. So let's just get those coals nice and going and we're going to put our venison on. So while that fire is going, we're just going to get our base ingredients going so long. Let's move that to one side. All right, so what do we get in here? We get a pack of bacon. Now, you could use chunkier pieces. We happen to have streaky, so we're using streaky bacon today. And of course, these things are impossible to open, so use your trusty knife and give it a slice open. Get my other board out, so I don't dirty that main board to cut my veggies on. Alright, and so what we're going to do here, venison does not have fat, like literally nothing. It's a very, very lean meat, especially kudu. And this is why we put some bacon in, to give it that lovely flavor and also to add some fat towards this dish. So we're going to cut these in about 1 centimeter size. Alright, there we go. Done. Now we're moving on to our onions. So we are going to put in 2 onions. These onions are for frying flavor and it's going to turn into mush with that lovely potjie, and it's going to add a beautiful gravy to the dish. These little guys here are the vegetables for the dish. They come on top of the potjie with carrots and with sweet potato. So let's get these guys chopped up. Yeah, and we've got some weavers making some nests over here. I might just show you how they're busy building it and how they're flying up to it. You know, and this was also one of those dishes where we'd get to the farm, right? No, we stayed in Kimberley, and we'd get to the farm, and my Oupa would have been out already at 3 o'clock in the morning. I swear to you, every time we slept over, and we got there, we slept over. And I would say to my Oma, I want to go with Oupa to herd the cattle and do, you know, farm work. And of course, I was a city boy, right? And I get to the farm, and I was like, I wake up, and I'm 6 o'clock. That's like early. Yeah. Waar's Oupa? Nee, hy het al klaar uitgegaan. It's like, okay. Anyways, you do all of that and be back at home at about, what, I think 8 or 9 o'clock. You take his rest, do his thing, and then you would come and sit, and then he would prepare this. This was Oupa's dish. Like, he loved potjies and he loved braai. My Oma loved roasts and baking. So as we go along, we'll introduce you to all of these, but this was his thing. And this is something he'd actually do. You'd sit on those steel chairs. I don't know if you know them. Like, you used to get them long ago. Steel chairs. I think it's like a draadstoel in Afrikaans. You'd sit on them, and he would have a little table there in front of him, and he would chop these onions, and he would be smoking his pipe and putting tabak in his pipe. And when that ran out, he'd take a bit of snuif. I don't know if you know what snuif is, but I don't even think you get it anymore. And he would have that, and you'd make this dish, like, really chilled out, really slow. And I think it's because it's such basic ingredients, right? Real stuff that you get from the farm, nothing fancy, some herbs, garlic, root vegetables, onions, and then of course his gunsteling, Nagmaal Wyn. Now this stuff was his secret ingredient, right? When he added this just added a dimension of flavor like you won't believe. And it also depends on what type of Nagmaal Wyn you get. This one is wit muscadel. It's got flavors of orange, it's sweet, it's earthy, it's beautiful, honey flavors, and it adds a lovely sweetness to your dish. But then once we've got all of these ingredients, he does add a touch of vinegar to balance those flavors out. And most importantly, this stock, it's pure beef stock. Look at this, it is a liquid. It's not, how can I say, brown. You can see almost straight through this. And this, keep it natural. Like, it was those days, that's how they got their stock, right? They boiled the beef bones down and you got this stock. This is what was left. So we're keeping it natural, even with the beef tallow. So this is also reduced fat, so that you get this beef tallow eventually. Now, I must say, we are lucky. There's a fantastic farm just outside here. They're a wine farm. They're called Winshaw. And they've got beef tallow, and they've got this stock as well. So if you can, make it a mission to get this over there. All right, we got all of that ready. My fire is all good there, so let's get this guy on. All right, let's get this lovely kudu seared. Well, let's take a look at it, guys. Let's get that going. Look at that lovely color. Like, that's what we're looking for. Let's swap it over. All right, so why do we do this? Well, if you can see the smoke, I mean, if you hold your hand there, right, for a while and smell your hand, you'll smell the smoke, right? So that's what we want. We want the smoke to penetrate this meat, get that lovely smoky taste and flavor in there. And also we want that charredness, right? The charredness from that meat, like that, because that builds depth of flavor when you add it to the potjie. It's like a step that must not be missed. So let's just finish that off and we'll get stuck into the potjie now. Okay guys, we've imparted the smoke and we've imparted the lovely, delicious crust on there as well. So let's take him off. Oh, it's the smell, that lovely smoky smell. Yeah, right. So let's get our lard in there. Oh, no, that can't happen yet. Otherwise I'll cause a huge flame. You'd first need your potjie on there. But still, you can't do that because my grid is on. See, these are real things that happen when you're making braai shows. Alright, so let's get this sucker on. What I want to do, I'm going to move this guy across over there because we're going to make another fire over there just to feed the flames, right? Just to feed the potjie so that we can get the potjie done. Alright, so let's get this guy on. So while that's heating up, I'm just going to get our fire going here. Alright, I think it is ready. So let's get some tallow in there. About 2 tablespoons of tallow. Right, let's get our bacon in there. So you just want to give that a stir, fry it up nicely, get some of that bacon fat out there. That'll give the flavor throughout the potjie. And then we can add our onions. So that's been going for about 5 minutes or so. Let's get our onions in. And just let that sweat down. You just want the onions to be translucent. And then we're going to add the rest of the goodies in. So while we've got our onions going there and our bacon going, we're going to chop 2 celery stalks because they're going to come in just now. So let's just get these chopped up quite thin. And you see these guys, don't throw them away. Use them as well. It adds a lovely greenery to your dish. And they taste pretty good. Then we're going to take some garlic. We're going to take, how many of these guys? Let's see how big they are. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4, 5, 6 pieces of garlic. Right, chop the ends off like that. And then just give them a squish. And just take the peels off. Alright, so these are literally going to disintegrate just to give them a final squish, quite heavy squish. And then just take your knife and just run it through them like that. Quite rustic, right? And now we're going to make our bouquet garni. We're going to take some thyme and some rosemary. And let's take this and tie that up. This gives it that lovely, fresh fragrance, right? So all about a potjie is the fragrance, the lovely smell, the taste, the woodiness from the rosemary. So let's check on this. Yeah, it's all good. So what we're going to do now, get these lovely flavors in, and we're going to get our stock and all of these delicious, incredible muscadel in as well. Alright, so just take our lovely garlic and our celery, get that in there. Ah, it smells. You know that fresh smell? There's nothing quite like fresh herbs, right? You have to get them in there. Just so much better than dried herbs at this stage. And then a cup of this beautiful, delicious muscadel. This is going to add that beautiful sweetness to the dish, right? With muscadel. You know that this was one of the first drinks I started drinking sneakily by my folks. They would have old brown sherry, which is similar but not quite the same thing. And I would sneak little bits of old brown sherry. It's lovely, you must try it. In it goes. This smell, since I've added it, it smells like raisins. It smells like sweet grapes. Incredible. And then you know what's going to be even more incredible? These guys. Hey, guess what they are? Prunes. But they are de-seeded or taken the pip out. So that raisiny with the prunes, with that sweetness, that beautiful savory stock, and the vinegar that we'll put in. Beautiful combinations there. So that goes in. And then also a super ingredient is gnaaltjies. So let's add them. And there you go. And here we've got 800 milliliters of beef stock. And then we add an additional cup, so that's a liter of liquid. And then we've got your 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. That's to balance out that sweetness, right? That sweetness, that sour, that savory. So lovely combination, lovely balance of flavors. Whoa, vinegar all over the place. All right, time for our bakegone. Bakegone goes in. And then the star of the show, the kudu, goes in. In he goes for his swim. There you go. And of course, don't forget your canned juices. So we're going to let this guy go for 2 hours. Now and then you can open the lid to check it. I generally don't, maybe once I'll take a look at it. So just monitor your flames, make sure you got enough liquid in, you don't want any burnt stuff. So he's closed, he's going to have a lacquer steam bath there for 2 hours, and then we're going to get stuck into the rest of the stuff. However, we have now got 2 hours to enjoy ourselves and have a lovely, well-deserved, cheers. Okay guys, time to check the potjie out. I have checked it out once before and it needed some more liquids, so I put in 500 ml of boiling water. Smelling great already. So it's looking good, got the fire going, nice and warm. Let's get those veggies all chopped up. Here we have our carrots, 5 carrots. Let's get these things peeled. This is an excellent opportunity to either go fill up your drink. I've been sparing it quite nicely. Cheers again. Or that we move on to some bird scenery. Check that out. I say, carrots all done. Let's just chop these end bits off and these tops off. And then what I like doing is I like chopping them in like this type of shape, right? It just looks nicer than just your normal, like let's say a round shape, you know, just your round shape compared to that shape. I don't know, it just looks nicer. So it's also how you look at the food, right? It's how the food looks that you're like, oh yeah, I want to eat that food. All right, so I'm going to save some time, do 2 at once. Camera woman stealing carrots again. If it's not cheese, it's carrots. All right, so there we go. We got our carrots done. And now we got our sweet potato. So we've got 3 sweet potatoes here. And the reason why I decided to do the sweet potatoes is because I can imagine that beautiful kudu with some mashed potato and the kudu on there and the vegetables surrounding it. I mean, and the onions as well. We've got some little baby onions that we're going to put there. It's just, the vision just looks great to me. So that's why we decided to do it that way. And we haven't done mash for ages, but my Oupa, they always used to do pap. It's that area. It's how they grew up. They always had pap. And I think it's because they farmed with millies over there, that they generally made pap from the millies, right? Because that's what pap is. It's maize meal. So they had maize meal. Every time we'd go there, we'd probably have maize meal and some rice. So that's why I've decided, let's change things up a little bit. Let's add it to my Oupa's recipe and let's do some lekker mashed potato. All right, and now let's give these okies a chopping. So we're going to go blocks here. right, just like this. So the other thing about this dish is, right, we're making quite a bit here. We're making a lot of carrots, 1.8 kilograms of kudu and onions, and we'll dish up this beautiful dish in a nice platter and everything. Enjoy it. I'm sure it's going to taste fantastic. But after that, we're going to shred it. We're going to add all these goodies with it, and we're going to make it into a lovely kudu pie. But not in this video. That's for us, for later. Freeze it and make it sometime that we want to make it. Okay, that's done. So, the onions, the baby onions. What we do here is chop the tops off, and then just lightly slice the outer layer. Try and just get one layer, right? And I find it easier if you do this in 4 slices on either side. There you go. Right, and then just get your nail in there, and you can peel it very easily. Right, here we go. And then that little bit there, just take that section off, and there you have it. Perfect little delicious jewel that we're going to add to them. So we're going to add quite a couple, 10 of these guys to the potjie. So now we're going to build our potjie. We're going to put our hard carrots in first, and then we're going to put our onions in because they're quite large and whole, and then we're going to put our softer sweet potato on top. So let's get that in. Oh my word, I actually, round onions do roll, so I didn't think about that. Okay, stay there. All right, let's get our carrots in. All right, that gives it a lovely layer. And then our onions. And we've lost 2 down there, but I'm going to go pick them up now. But it's all right, actually. I'm just going to put our sweet potato in as well on top. And then we'll add those 2 escapees now. Lost a few carrots and sweet potatoes there. And there they go in as well. That's it. Spread it out like that. So I don't know if you can see, but if I squish this down, can you see the liquid is still there? So that's plenty liquid. We're going to close it up. That's going to go for another 40 minutes. While that's going, we're going to get going onto that mash. Okay, let's get our boiling water on there. Already boiled up to temp to boil our potatoes. And now, onto the peeling. All right. So, let's get this back here. So we have got 2, 4, 6, 7 potatoes. But it all depends on how many people you're feeding, right? So let's get on to peeling these potatoes. All right, so let's give them a chop up. Once again, we're making these into mashed potato, right? So if you chop them up small like this, it cooks a lot quicker. That's the first advantage. And the other thing is, we're going to put them in the colander and we're going to get all that liquid off, and that's the most important part, right? Well, the second most important part. They must be dry. Then you chuck them back in that pot, add a lovely amount of butter on, much more than what is needed, and some salt. And we're going to have beautiful mashed potatoes. Just get the lid back on, just to get the temperature back up. And that's that. Now we can get stuck into nothing else right now. Cheers. All right, let's take a look at our potatoes. So, I believe they are ready. Here you can see they break apart very nicely. Okay, these suckers are done. There we go. Let's go strain them. And there we go, all strained. Now, let's add a good amount of salt. Potatoes love salt. Love salt. And we've got salted butter here, so You know, we don't have to put that much salt in. However, they love an enormous amount of butter. So we've got about, I'd say 80 grams of butter here. Don't tell anyone. Just say, it tastes great. How do you make these potatoes? No, never mind that I put like almost 100 grams of butter in here. It's gonna taste good. All right, just mix that all in there. Break up the butter. And get it mixed up nicely till you've got a lovely, silky tasting mashed potato. And of course, you know my methodology. Taste. Oh yeah. Delicious. Okay, get the lid on so it doesn't get cold. And now we've got the lid off the potjie as well, so we can reduce the sauce. It is almost 3 hours, 15 minutes away from it. We're busy reducing the sauce. Let's get that off and let's let it rest. Look at that super delicious potjie. Okay, let's get him off. He is so ready. He just needs to be consumed. There we go. So let's get some mash on. Oh, I'm so excited about this stuff. It's looking magnificent. Now look, the way we did it in our family. Op je plaas. We had this dishing bowl right in the center. Right? And in the center, you had all of your goodies, all of your vegetables, the works, right? Just like that, make a little well. And then we get into the potjie. Look at that. Let's get right in there. Try not to break your kudu. It's still got its bone in as well. But if it does break, it's not a problem. Okay, get that out. That gelatinous juiciness. That's looking magnificent. Hey, look at it. It's come off the bone for sure. I'll show you now when it gets stuck into it, how it's really gonna look. And then let's take our beautiful veggies. Let's just spoon them around like that. Yeah, just add them like that. Look at those beautiful pearl onions and the carrots and the sweet potato all whole. And we've got the prunes as well. You know this is going to be good. You know it. And then some delicious gravy. Let's get it on. Look at this. Beautiful. Hey, now that's what we're talking about. Now that is Oupa Kudu Potjie. Let's get straight in there. Get some mash, some lovely pearl onions. Put them in your center of your plate. Oh man. Some more mash. And then, look at this. Just want to show you. I know this is going to be fall apart tender. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, no way. And it's smelling so fantastic. There we go. Right. Then, let's get it in our plate. There we go. Don't be shy. Pile it up. And I've saved myself some extra gravy because I know it's going to be fantastic. Okay, well, let's taste it. Some delicious Kudu Potjie. Holy moly. You know what? You don't even chew that. It's so tender. I can't explain to you how tender this is. It's a tender you've never even had before. You know lamb, which is tender? It's more tender than that. Brisket, more tender than that. Juicy chicken, more tender than that. It's magnificent, and it's mashed potato. And the muscadel, the sweetness, the prunes, the onion, the cloves. That's even coming through beautifully but subtly. Oh my word. This is one of those recipes you must add to your winner recipe dishes. I can't believe how tender this is. So, get in there, check our recipes out, look in the descriptions, all the recipes are there, and let us know what you think about all these dishes, all the incredible things that we make. And thank you for subscribing, and we really appreciate every comment, and we comment back. So, cheers to you.